Hi, Diary. Hi, this is my very, very, very first ever notification of a diary. I've been thinking about doing a diary, a written diary, and all the time I've always thought, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, but I actually never find it a moment or just time to do a diary. And I've decided that maybe a video diary would be the best way to do it. That way, I'm not actually sitting down and having to write down my thoughts, but I'm thinking about my thoughts as I say them out. So this is all live, nothing recorded, nothing written, nothing prepared. So going forward, I will be doing a diary entry of my day to day, what I've done in the day, what I plan to do, or whether it's tomorrow or the week after or the next year, whatever I decide that I want to do, whatever I think about. Because sometimes I think I'm going to do something and I forget, life gets in the way and I forget. And then later on in life, I'm like, I knew I was supposed to do something and I forgot to do it. And then I think I wish I had just had a moment and done it, but I probably just forgot to do it. So this is really a diary for me to document my thoughts, to document my daily process, to document what I've been feeling, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. It's in a way, I think it will probably be like a legacy for me, and maybe later on in life when I'm 70, 80, 90, whatever God decides to let me stay up, down on this earth for, um, I will go through it, listen to myself, listen to my thoughts, listen to what I wanted to do in life, and probably later on compare to what I've achieved. And I know I'm a bit older, I'm a lot older. I've done a lot of things, I've achieved a lot of things in my life, and I'm very proud of all my achievements. I'm proud of everything I've done. So, this is just for me to say, oh, tomorrow I want to go shopping, or tomorrow I want to go and buy, just basic things. It's not about career. It's not about children. It's not about, it's just day-to-day things, day-to-day stuff. It's nothing serious, nothing major. I'm not ill, so this is not something I'm like putting this because I'm gonna die or something. Nope, I'm not gonna die anytime soon. I'm hoping. I think my family genetics are quite good, are quite strong. So fingers crossed, I will live up to 90, 100. I would want to be 100 and see what's happening. In 100 years' time, I bet AI would have taken over the world, and we would have robots walking up and down, these things. So you never know what's going to happen, and I would love to be around to actually see those things happen. I don't know what else could happen. What other inventions, these intelligent people would come up with. I'm not an intelligent person to invent anything, but I will be very, very keen to see what developments are, are made in 100. Well, not 100 at this point, but in another 50, 55, 60 years time. So that's what I'm looking forward to see. So today I was going to go to. Oh, to start off with, my name is Patience Abigail, and I just thought, like I said, I just wanted to just talk about my day-to-day activities. So today, what did I do today? So I woke up today and I decided that I woke up quite early because I went to bed very late last night, mostly because I'd gone shopping. I'd walked into town center. I usually do 11,000 steps a day. So yesterday I'd walked up to town center, bought a couple of things, mostly just for kitchen cleaning stuff. Walked back home, did maybe about 8,000 steps at that point. Came back home about 5. And the sun was shining. It was a surprise because the sun was shining. So I actually didn't have a jacket. I only had like a jumper on when I went out. And after that, I got in, and my daughter calls me. She was in London, and she's like, "Oh my God, the trains are all cancelled. It looks like there was literally nothing showing on the board. You know, usually when you go to the train station, there's a board there that tells you which train's gonna arrive, which trains going the train destination, what time it's going to arrive, or what time it's expected, things like that. But it was just totally blank. And I'm like, why don't you just go if St. Pancras, if the trains at St. Pancras are not moving, why don't you go to Paddington or Euston or another train station and just find a destination which brings you closer to the Midlands? And she's like, no, everybody's like literally sitting down doing nothing here. They've just camped. And I'm like, what, you're planning on camping and being homeless at King's Cross? Sorry, it was actually St. Pancras. So she says, oh, okay, let me just try and see, because there's the train station. So there's the St. Pancras one, and then there's the King's Cross. She was catching the one from St. Pancras. So she went to King's Cross, and there were trains that were actually going to Leeds. And I said to her, why don't you just take the train that's going to go to Leeds? And then she thought, oh, I think one was cancelled, another one was cancelled again. So it was probably trains using the same sort of route, because apparently somebody had gone on the train tracks. It happens most times. People decide that they want to go on the train tracks, and something happened, and he or she, whoever it was, got hit by the train. So obviously that whole train track or the line was obviously, it disrupted everything. So there was nothing moving on those, or anything that was coming sort of like towards the Midlands from either St. Pancras or King's Cross. So she says, oh no, I'm not doing it, I'm not going, I don't want to. So I says, go to Eustace. She says, I don't want to go to Birmingham. So I said, okay, okay. So I then decided, let me get on with my day. So I start like cooking and doing what I needed to do. And then after that, she calls again after she had got our food. I think she wanted to get some food. So she then says to me, I don't think there are any trains anywhere at this point. So at the beginning, it was about maybe 6 o'clock, about, let's say, just about 6. And by the time she called me back, it was about 7:15. So I'm looking online, and on Trainline, and I could see a trains departing towards Birmingham, and I knew that you can get a train to Birmingham and then get a train to Leicester, drop off at Nuneaton or something, and then get a train to Leicester, and then from Leicester you can then get a train towards Sheffield or anything that's going up north. Or I say, so I can literally drive down. It will take me an hour, drive down on the motorway and pick you up in Leicester. So she's like, and okay, I'll start walking. So she walked down from King's Cross to Euston. after she walked, she got there. I told her what time the train, and she literally got there, and there was a train just about to depart, and she was lucky enough. It was standing room only because everybody was getting into it, and it was like ripe time. It was about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock ish time. So everybody was just leaving London and going back home or whatever they were, whatever they were doing in London on that day. So I decided, okay, fine, I'll start driving. I'll get ready and I'll start driving towards Leicester because it was going to take her 2 hours to do, including the transfer. So the transfer was probably going to be about 20 minutes. So she'll drop off at Nuneaton, wait for a train, and then maybe about 20 minutes later, a train will come that will go towards Leicester, and then I was going to pick her up from Leicester. And then she then texts me, I'm ready, I've done my hot water bottle because I thought, I'll just drive down and wait. And I did a hot water bottle. So if I'm sitting in the car waiting, I don't want to be cold. I can switch on my heating in the car, but that's fine. But I like my hands kind of warm. My car's got under seat heating as well. So it would be nice, but I just thought if I'm going to sit for longer, then I would like to be comfortable. It's just a comfort thing for me. And then she texts me and says, oh no, I'm going to go to, oh God. She says another place. I can't remember the name of the place. And then from there, I'll get a train that would take me to Sheffield. And then I would then pick her up from Sheffield. Now the time had changed. So I was going to pick her up in Leicester at 2100. She's changed the time is now the train that she was going to get was going to end up in Sheffield at 23 something. And I'm like, that's a long time. So she's like, well, it saves you having to drive all the way from home and go to Leicester. And I'm like, it's all the motorway. Literally took me an hour to get there. And then after back and forth. So I get out of my car. I go back, I take my hot water bottle, go back in the house, and I'm now sitting there like waiting because at this point I'm not gonna do anything until about midnight, 11 p.m. So I'm thinking if I stay downstairs, I'll get annoyed. So I went upstairs to my bedroom, got in bed, switched on the TV, and kind of like just started watching something. I can't remember. I think it's a series that I've been watching, which is called The Resident on Netflix. So I think I started watching that. And then after that, I just thought to myself, this doesn't make sense. What if I fall asleep? I'll be so tired, I'll fall asleep. And then what if the trains, because obviously this is a Saturday night, trains get delayed, trains get cancelled, and she wanted to go to like somewhere else further than somewhere where I would know how to get to easier. Leicester's like just off the motorway and I know Leicester, I grew up in Leicester, I know Leicester very well. So I was like, you want, and then that means I would have to start like at midnight to travel to a place that I don't know to travel to. So I decided to call her and I'm like, listen, why do you not want to go to Leicester? I'll pick you up. So anyway, that's when we then decided. Eventually, she was not very happy with me because she thought maybe I was forcing her because she was like, okay, we'll do it. So I'm like, okay, but because I was in bed at this point and it was almost 8 o'clock or 7:30 maybe at that point. It was about 7:30, I think. And because the day before we had just driven to London, on the Thursday, I think we had driven to London. So my car didn't have enough diesel. I think there was enough, but I always want to make sure that I've got enough diesel. I don't want to put any fuel on the motorway because, highway robbery and stuff like that. Anyway, so I went to Tesco, put in some diesel, left Tesco about 9-ish p.m. This is p.m. 9-ish, 9:05. I think it was about 9:05. It took me about an hour. There was a lot of 50 mile per hour restrictions on the motorway. Anybody who's been on the motorway on the M1 lately knows the frustration of, oh my God, you're only going like 60 miles and you're traveling at 50 mile an hour, and you're like, oh my God, on the motorway. It is scary. It's like, it's hard to maintain that speed, so you kind of like just follow behind a truck or something to make sure that you don't overspeed, because anyway, I got to Leicester within an hour, and I kind of forgot that I was going to the train station. I went towards the bus station, and then I got to the bus station and I thought, oh no, that's not where I was supposed to go. So I then, it took maybe another 5-10 minutes to maneuver traffic within a city center to end up, because all the most city centers, the roads are like one way, and anyway, eventually got there, got in, picked her up, and then we came back. Then we then, instead of using the M1, we then ended up using the A1, M46, and then the A1, got to Newark, the junction for Newark, and then from there used the A1 so that she could then go and pick up her car, which was parked at another train station, because otherwise you get charged a lot more. So anyway, so that's how. Then by about mid 11 something maybe, we managed to get to Redford. She picked up her car, and I was back in my bed with another hot water bottle, a warm one, maybe about 20 past midnight, I think, about 20 past midnight. And maybe she arrived back home about maybe 10 minutes after me or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was maybe 5 minutes after me. But that's basically why I woke up quite late today. So when I then woke up, I just did some oats. I usually do some oatmeal. So I put some milk in a small pot and some sugar. I like my sugar. Did some oatmeal, and then decided today that I was going to go to church. So the church starts at 2:00. This is, and the church is in Sheffield. So I get myself ready, because I didn't go last week, because sometimes I'm like, Sundays, 2:00 is probably not the best times for me to be doing anything. Those are the times when I want to relax and just wait for Monday morning. So sometimes I do go to the church once every so often. I don't go every week. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it, because otherwise it would be putting so much pressure on myself, or so much like making it more of a commitment, rather than something that I should enjoy. So I wouldn't want to do that. I go when I feel like I want to go. I don't want to go because I feel like I'm obligated to go. So that kind of thing. So I get myself ready. I get dressed, and I looked really nice. And then I looked and realized that there was no church service. There was no church service today, but I was in the car at this point. So anyway, I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I looked because I would have driven all the way to about 30 minutes down the road and then found there was no one there. Damn. Anyway, so that's basically what I decided that when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a few things, and I wanted to plant. So I've got a succulent. They're called succulents, I think. So I've got really a very, very big. It's been growing for the past 4 years since 2020, March 2020. That year was very, very hot. So the succulent just like it started off when it first started, it wasn't like growing at all. And I was like, this succulent has been here for like a year and it's still just so small. And then because that year I put it outside, that year was very, very hot and it just became big, and that succulent is huge. It's in my bedroom. It's like my baby. I wake up in the morning and I spray it, clean it nice. It's huge. When I say huge, I mean huge. So what I usually do is take seedlings from it and plant some more succulents, and then once they've grown after about 6 months, now I know exactly how to grow them and what temperatures to keep them at, and yeah, and then I keep them in a hot place, so nice and warm, and then they grow, and then once they've grown, I give them away to people as presents and stuff like that. But it's something that I actually enjoy doing. So I've planted 3 today. Yeah, I think I had only, yeah, I've done 3. I still have some more pots to plant, but I probably won't plant them at this point. I otherwise it becomes too much and it stops being, the love. You do it for love. You don't do it for as a farming. It's not for farming. It's for love. So after I'd done that, it started raining. It was raining really heavily for some reason. Yesterday was nice and warm. Today it's raining. I decided I wanted to replace my blinds, which is something I haven't done it yet. I did put my other blinds myself. A couple of years ago, I put them there myself. There's nothing wrong with the ones that are there, but I just want to change them. I want to use the ones that are dark, and the ones you can adjust to like dark out and then light in or mix or whatever, that type of thing. Those are the ones that I'm gonna change them with, but it feels like I don't want to start that process right now. It's a bit. I probably will do it maybe next weekend. I'll just sit down, like wake up and say, this is what I'm going to do. Because sometimes I get flustered or frustrated if whatever I'm trying to do doesn't go right the first time. So I'm just probably just going to do one blind, and then if that works, then go on to the next one. These things you just buy from B&Q, and they come with all the things. That's why it's called DIY. So you can do it yourself. So fingers crossed I'll be able to do that next week without any problems. So now I'm just gonna sit here, watch a bit, do a bit more cooking, cook some food for tomorrow, for the week, for tomorrow, and then sit, watch a bit of TV. I've probably got football. I'll probably watch some football, and once I've watched a bit of football, it'll probably be time to go to bed at that point. And usually when I go to bed, I find a series either on Netflix, on Amazon, or on Virgin TV or whatever series that I'm watching, I want to watch and just relax and not just relax, really. But that's my day. I started off with yesterday's what happened yesterday and today's date. So anyhow, that's my day. And when I'm watching it in a few years' time, I will be happy that I had a good day. Thank you. Bye.